Hello everyone and welcome to the next episode of Solar Sidekicks. My name is Pat Southwell and I am joined remotely again by my co-host Lawrence Aconti. How are you, Lauren?
I'm good. I've arrived back in the office. I'm back in Limbrook off the Monash car park.
Good
to be back in my safe space.
Good on you. You made it. That's great to hear. Well, you're remote again and I'm on the road. I'm at Solar and Storage Live in Brisbane at the conference and yeah, just doing a few episodes here. It's been a good day so far, but ready to go. Here we go again, and we've got a cracker of a guest to come in. All right, I want to introduce our guest. It's Kirsty Newman from Sunshine State Solar. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yes, got it. How are you, Kirsty? How are you?
Good. A little cold, but good.
It is a little bit actually in here. I did notice that. Yeah, the aircon's pumping in here, isn't it?
It's only this section.
Yeah.
You haven't been walking around. It's
No, I haven't.
Just this one bit.
Oh, really?
Getting all the air conditioning.
Yeah, I don't know what that's all about. No, it's all good, all good. All right, well, before we start, acknowledge the traditional landowners of where we're recording this today, and that's the Turrbal people. Pay my respects to all elders, past, present, and emerging. All right, well, Kirsty, I reckon you've got some pretty cool stories. I don't know, you just sort of strike me as that sort of person.
Probably.
Yeah, I reckon you do.
I probably have too many.
All right, okay.
Which ones do you want to hear?
I don't know, we'll go through a few. We'll see. We'll keep it.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I can almost see myself in you, Kirsty. I'm like,
Yeah,
I can relate to this guest.
As soon as you were like, I'm going to yell upstairs to the kids, I'm like, yeah, that's me. Everyone should.
Yeah.
I'm getting into something. Big one.
No.
Give me 5 minutes.
All right, well, let's start with when we first met. I reckon when did we meet?
Yes.
Almost 10 years ago now. Or would
yeah,
be
nine
years ago. Yeah. So I was at True Valley Solar, and you were there as well in the Queensland office.
I started in I think it was September.
Yeah.
And there were 3 ladies in my office in Queensland, and within 6 weeks, there was just me.
Oh my
On
God.
my own, 22-year-old me, all like,
Oh, this my God.
and I think the last lady they fired, she yelled at me on the way out. She thought it was my fault.
Really?
And I was like, I don't even know what's going on. I'm
This
22.
place is scary. Honestly,
it
True
was
Valley
a lot.
Solar, I'm actually triggered. Every guest of you right that comes on that, I'm like, that just sounds horrible.
Yeah. Well, I remember you, Lauren. You asked me about because we had the incident with the chainsaw and
Yeah.
was the other one. Yeah, you probably didn't. Did you know about that, Kirsty?
No, I didn't hear
Yeah,
it.
in the Melbourne office, someone started up a chainsaw, and it was after I don't know.
Someone who worked there?
Yeah,
or-
the general manager.
Oh my God. He finally just cracked it. Went, no.
He sort of, I don't know. It was I'm not sure. I was actually not there that day, but I think it was almost a bit of a passive aggressive thing because I think he was kind of a bit concerned that not as many jobs were getting booked as they.
It was supposed to.
Yeah, and then so rather than taking people to the side and having a chat or whatever, he just came in with a chainsaw and then started it up and started going.
So it must have been before I started. Because
Okay.
did Michelle take over from him?
No. So this was because I went back to True Valley Solar. That was my second stint there.
God, really?
Yeah. So I worked there in 2012 and 2013.
Yeah,
And then I went back. Michelle got me back there in 2016.
Right. So that's
Yeah.
like, because Michelle
Yeah.
took,
She was there the whole time.
Yeah, Michelle had her quirks, but
Yeah.
she could get stuff done.
Oh, she was
She
amazing.
always got it done.
She was amazing. She was
Yeah.
great with what she did.
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyway, we digressed a little bit there, but
I didn't know about the chainsaw situation. Tell me more
Yeah.
about that later.
yeah. So that
I
obviously
definitely had no chainsaw worthy
no.
things happen. I did, right before I left True Value, I had surgery.
Yeah,
and
right.
I told Michelle that I wasn't going to be there. And it was a day surgery and I was on my way home and I went, you know what, I'm just going to stop and check to make sure everything's okay. I had 600 emails and no one in Melbourne knew I wasn't there. And I was the only one running scheduling for Queensland, South Australia and
So
Australia.
this doesn't surprise me. That's you triggered again, aren't you, Lauren? You're just triggered by this.
And they
What
fired
goes on?
everyone. Oh, they don't communicate, which most big companies, they always have trouble with communication. But I'm the biggest communicator there is. I'm straight to the point. I've always been direct. And that comes from the fact that I was brought up by Telstra.
Yeah,
Telstra
okay.
Corporate. I went from being at one of their contracting companies selling win-back phone lines
Yeah.
and was trained up all the way through the process to reconstructive specialist. So I'd go to business centres and rebuild their profit line and their margins to redo training and restructure them because they're all franchise owned.
Is this before True Valley Solar?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
So literally from 17 to 22, that's what I did. and ran a floor of 60 people on a sales floor. So when Michelle had her interview with me, and I'm like, look, I've been on $180,000 a year, but I want to move out of sales and I want to do something new. And she went, yep, cool, great, sounds good, $40,000 a year. And I went, I guess I'm starting from the bottom. That kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
So that's what I did. And I was supposed to be working alongside 3 or 4 other women who'd been there a decade. Like when I met them, they'd been there forever.
They had been there forever.
Yeah, and they were still friends with all the contractors that had been there, and that was their family, and like even like direct relations or blood relations. So it was like, oh, okay, cool. And Michelle just chopped him all off at the knees.
Yeah.
And at the time, I didn't know they were trying to sell.
Yeah.
That was their thing. They were trying to sell the company, and they were trying to make it look more profitable on paper. But of course, they're not going to tell everybody that. And then I went and had that surgery, and she started calling me. Michelle called me 17 times on my annual leave to ask me to get back to the office. And I was like, I'm on leave. I have drains in. I literally am on endone for the first time in my life.
Wow.
I can't go. And she just ignored me. She was like, no, you need to get back in there. I'm not. Thank you. Love you to pieces.
Did you go back in?
So I started running it from home.
There you go.
And
Oh, that's good. You're way ahead of your time working
I know.
from
I was
home.
like, I'll just do it from home. It's fine.
Yeah.
I'll sort it out. It's all good. Because I had the warehouse manager calling me on repeat because he's British. Remember?
Yeah, I remember him. No, I can't remember his name. I remember him though.
But he was very full on, and he's just calling me and calling me and calling me. I'm like, you have 30 years experience and 10 of them are in there. Surely you can sort this out without me just for the moment. And he just couldn't. And that's when I had Ben Wake's company and all of his staff. There were 16 teams that got moved from South Australia to Queensland just for the Christmas period. True Values Rush.
I remember that. I remember he used to move around a bit. Yeah.
Yeah, and he used to move his teams.
Yeah, they used to do a lot of work in different places. Yeah.
Yeah, and they just used to go, cool, you're going to go here and you're going to go there. They even had staff in Phillip Island, I found out years later.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
Really?
Yeah, when Go Wasp closed, they didn't tell their staff, and they had an electrician at Phillip Island and just went, we're liquidating. No pay, no way home.
Oh, really?
Sorted out. Yeah.
Geez, you'd be loving this when you're Lauren, hearing all of this.
I'm just triggered.
And it was too much for me. I was 24.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I started at True Value, and I went, okay, cool. This is not, like, I know it now. And I just so happened, I had Ben living with me because Michelle had asked him to come over to Queensland, and I was staying in a hotel, and I went, cool. I have my own house. Stop paying rent at a hotel room. I've got a spare room. And then I had Tyler also living with me, and he was True Values QTP.
I remember that. That's right.
And they're both in my house. And they're like, well, Kirsty, you know how to sell, and you now know all the processes of solar. Why don't you just start your own thing? And it was literally that same week that I'd had surgery. So we're at the pub having a steak and beer, and they're like, why don't you do it? And I went home, went to sleep, and I woke up, and Ben had taken it upon himself to register a business name, all 3 of us as owners, me as the managing director.
He just did that overnight, did he?
He did it overnight.
Yeah, right.
Overnight, I woke up and he had all of the paperwork for ATO and ASIC, and he was like, oh, you just need to sign it and it'll all be executed. And at the time, I didn't know anything about it. I don't know how ASIC works. I don't know how the ATO works. I have not done any of this. I've always had a job. I've been out of home since I was 13. This is a big move. Like, to me, that's super risky.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, that's like no income anymore. Just doing it on your own, seeing how it worked. And I literally ended up saying yes because he gave me some solar leads. And I sold my first 3 jobs in bed on endo.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, cool. Got in and just did it. That's what I do.
I told you this would be an entertaining episode, Lauren. This is great. I didn't know that story. That's so cool.
I don't tell people those
No,
stories.
that's cool. That's
Like, when people ask, I'm like, yeah, so this is how it happens.
yeah. Oh, wow. So you then is that the company? That's not the company you're running now.
No,
So how long you been doing Sunshine State Solar for now?
Since 2018.
Yep. Yeah.
So the first company that we owned only lasted 12 months.
Yep.
I got sick. I got pneumonia. It literally on, I think, the 9-month mark of operation, and we're doing really well. And we did 100 kilowatt. And this was the apex for everything for that company because Ben did it. I sold it. He did all the install, obviously, because I'm not an electrician.
Yep.
And at the time, knew nothing about compliance, nothing about legislation, nothing about wiring, nothing about licensing either. I was literally just sales and stock ordering. That was all I knew about solar in that first 12 months.
Yep.
And Ben went and did the 100 kilowatt. Little did I know, he didn't have a battery license. Only had the solar accreditation, and the customer wasn't happy.
Yeah.
And there was 5 Sparkies there for that job, and I said, guys, tell me right now, because this customer's not happy, is this job compliant 100% great? before I go and argue with him because he's refusing to pay his $200,000 bill.
Yeah,
And they
right.
all went, no, it's great. It's fantastic. 2 weeks later, not even, I had a guy who was senior compliance manager for the electrical safety office come to the office.
Yeah.
But you're down as the director, so I need to talk to you. They have 44 rectification notices for this job. It's probably the worst installation I've ever seen, and I'm a veteran inspector of compliance. Anyway, look, I can see you know nothing.
Yeah.
Let me walk you through each and every single one of these photos in the compliance. I'm happy to help you here on in forever. His name was Peter. Loved him. He was great. He's retired now. He was 60. He's 64 even then.
Yeah.
He said, look, I'm old. I get it. You don't know what you're doing. I'm going to help you learn how to do it. And he sat down with me and 2 hours with me. And he's like, you already have memorized all this stuff. And that's just how my brain works. And he was like, call me whenever. If you need anything ever, just call me and I will help you with it. And then when he retired, he gave my details to another inspector there and said, if she calls you, help her out. She's not silly. Yep. She will work it out. But you need to give her the information so that she can work it out on her own.
So is that like pretty steep learning curve for you? Like
That was.
because that's pretty full on. That's pretty full on. Like ESO coming in and you're really saying we need to chat.
Yeah.
You're a director. We need to chat.
Yeah. And he sat down and I was like, you may as well do it with me now. Tell me now what it is I need to do. And I lost it at Ben. I was like, you told me this job was 100%.
Yeah.
You have not done this right. And he was in Sydney with my partner at the time that I was with for 10 years. On and off for 10 years, and they're both doing installs in Sydney. And I called him and said, hey mate, like this is not on. I've got 44 notices here. I've just sat down. All of it's basic compliance that you should have known.
Yep.
You've got stripped cables, no grid protection. You weren't even supposed to install batteries for starters. And he went, I want 50 grand or I'm leaving. I would take my QTP away and everyone's fired. And I called my partner at the time, leave him in Sydney. Freaking leave him there. I don't want him back. Leave him there. And he didn't. He took him.
Yeah.
And I waited until I knew that they would be at Yamba from Sydney driving back. And I called him. I'm like, hey, baby, how's it going? And he's like, yeah, good. And I was like, what are you doing? And he's like, I'm at Yamba just driving back. I'm like, cool, okay. Started to go a bit more out of the PG level of the conversation to see if Ben would say something.
Yeah.
And he just sat there in the car and said nothing. And apparently, this was a story I got back. My partner got off the phone to me and turned to him and goes, she knows. She 100% knows I did not leave you in Sydney. She knows. And apparently freaked out the whole way drive back. And he pulled in the driveway and I come out the front of the office and went, where'd you leave him? He goes, at his apartment. That's what I thought. I knew you weren't going to leave him there. And he's like, I got to do it. I'm like, do you know what he's done to me? I'm like, this is like $300,000 problem.
Yeah.
I'm like, and he's probably going to lose his license. That's what he's done. And then he tried to blackmail me. He's, I'm like, that's why I told you to leave him there. See where your loyalties are, buddy.
So how'd you recover from that? Like, that's pretty... Was that just a lot of hard work and learning stuff, or I don't know?
I just looked at things, I think, from a much more complex point of view. Because after that, I had to go and sit with obviously electrical safety officers and do their tribunal for the whole process. Ben didn't show up. I did. So what do you want me to do? The legislation states that I have to have a QTP and a QBP. Unfortunately, both of those people were Ben.
Yeah.
I've now changed that and I have new people, but those were that's the person that was responsible. He's also the one who did it wrong.
So he's personally liable then, isn't he?
Yeah, he was supposed to show up. He didn't show up.
Okay.
So at the end of the day, I can't force a person to do that. You've sent him every documentation you can. You've waited 8 months, and this is where we're at. So you cannot sit here and ridicule me as a managing director and tell me that I'm not allowed to run a business under the legislation that you guys have in place. And they were very, I got prepared for it by a guy at Master Electricians. He spoke to me through it, and he's like, look, it's going to be horrible. Yeah. And there's no other thing I can do for you. You just need to go in there. So the night before, I read the Electrical Safety Act and and all of the legislation I could possibly read before I went in. I'm like, cool, this is what had happened, and this is what I've done, and this is what I've done in the meantime. Because I then went and got my QBP course, which is Qualified Business course, and I did it in 24 hours. It's supposed to take 3 days. And just blasted through it.
How the hell are you doing all this shit so quick? I know. I can see that. You should see her, Lauren. She's just so much energy.
I always say that.
I love it. Energized at 2.0.
Yeah, exactly.
For the moment I wake up, I'm doing it. It's done.
But that's
I love it.
big talent to be able to just pick this stuff up and just run with it and get it done really quick.
And that's been my superpower, really. It's just being able to do it and straight away go in and go, yep, I know what the problem is. Yep. What's the answer? If the answer's really long, is there any other way? Who else do I talk to?
Yep.
Where else do I go for the information? that I've done all my resources and done everything I possibly can, so this is all I can do. Which after that tribunal, they said that the end result was you need to get a third party to audit every job you've ever done for 12 months.
Yeah.
And I did the math in my head. I'm like, $280,000 just to look at them.
Yeah.
I'm like, and we can't operate until then. So I have 3 electrical teams and 2 sales staff that can't do anything until I get them audited. That could take a year. I'm like, and I don't have 200. So you've effectively closed me down, guys. You've closed the business. I went back to the office and went, how do I fix this? And went, cool, that business needs to close. Ben won't leave it.
Yeah, you can't. You need to move on. Yeah, I understand. You need to move on with things like.
Yeah, I went. You need
there's
to,
no
I
other
need to
way.
make a decision.
No
This
other
is
way
too
through.
hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, cool. What do I do? Because I need to protect these people. I've offered them a future, and Ben's gone, and Tyler's gone, and both of them have decided that they're just going to leave me with the mess of it, and contacted Liquidator. And went, which you hear all the time in solar, and went, what do I do? And he went, you just need to start again on your own.
Yep.
And go, cool, this is my business. I'm doing it by myself. And literally that's what I did. And because the license for electrical wasn't in my name before, it was in the company name, it was Ben as the one who was in big trouble. Went, sweet, I can do that.
Yep.
And the director of electrical safety office called me the next day when he had to sign off my license.
Yeah, right.
Went, I did not know you were going to figure that out. And I was like, yep. And he's like, and you figured it out in a day. Like, yeah, I went back to the office and went, how do I get a license? So I didn't have a license before. Like, the business did. And he's like, that's very cheeky. We're going to be watching you. It's fine. Watch me. That's what
You know what? That's probably what you need, though.
Yeah.
You probably needed them to keep an eye on you a bit too.
Well, I asked them to.
After going through something like that.
And every time I renew, I ask them to come in.
Yeah.
Like, come and talk to my QTP. Come and talk to me. Check my processes and procedures. I demand the master electricians come in every 12 months and look at my swims and check everything I'm doing.
Yep.
And the last visit they made, they said, you're doing more than most contractors. In fact, you should probably be talking to other contractors about what their processes and procedures are, because yours look very, very easy.
Yeah.
Like,
I love that.
I know.
I love it. I'm a processes queen. I love it. I love it. I love hearing that other people are as crazy as me with procedures and swims, because I just get bagged out so much. It's like, oh, Lauren, again. And I'm like, all right, well, when we save your ass one day,
Yes.
thank me later.
That's what I say to my boys. I'm like, guys, you're the one that's going to get in trouble, not me.
Yeah,
Let
exactly
me help
right.
you do the right thing and make it as simple as possible, because I know you hate paperwork. I know you don't like doing it. So let's just do these 3 things that you have to do. And I'll make it digital, and it'll automate all the details for the job. Just do it.
Yeah. That's
we
what
say-
we do as well. You literally just fill in a form and then it automates everything in the back end. It is so good. Love it.
And I did all by myself. So if something goes wrong, I'm like, I know how to fix that. Give it in. It was fine.
What CRM are you using, out of curiosity? Because I know there's
Drive.
Type Drive.
Pipe
Pipe
drive.
drive.
Pipe Drive. Okay.
Yeah. I've
I like that.
automated
Is that-
my pipe drive, service mate, and pylon. So my back end is actually more automated than my sales processes, which is insane.
Yeah.
My lovely office lady, Gina's here to watch the podcast today, but she does all of that stuff. So every time she does an approval and she puts an approval number in, it automatically sends a customer an email, lets us know if they've opened it or not. All the handover manuals, certificates of compliance, everything's automated on my pipe drive end. So as Gina does stuff, it automatically sends it. So
That's awesome.
I'm doing most of that stuff. It was me even who went to Service Mate, Pylon 3 years ago. And so can we somehow make it so that Pylon makes my Service Mate jobs?
Yeah.
And then they did it.
That's what we do as well, and it's really good.
Yeah, it's just heaps easier. I had Open Solar even contact us, and I was like, guys, would love to use you, but I've already convinced Pylon to do all this automation for me. So it'd be really, really bad of me to just go, all right, thank you so much for that.
Thanks for that. Don't leave. Yeah.
Because this company
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. No, that's interesting. Jeez, it's you've got a lot of it figured out. Well, you seem to have like worked through it all, and
Look, I have my days.
Yeah,
Business ownership is not a walk in the park.
no.
It's not easy, especially when you're in charge of that many people.
Yeah.
Like I've
So what do you got? Let's tell me about your
20
business.
staff.
20 staff. Yeah.
Yeah, and like, so I've got 4 electricians at any given time, sometimes 5, which is very big trouble. I've spoken to lots of subcontractors, especially
Yep.
through that COVID period, because getting an electrician has been really hard, keeping them even harder.
Yeah.
Luckily, I've got my core couple who are just like, nah, we got you. We'll sort it out. But I have those 4, then I have 8 apprentices, like, which has always been a big field of controversy, because it's not legislation, but the guide is that you have 1 for 1.
Yep.
You have 1 electrician or 1 apprentice. And I've had the board in and gone, guys, I don't have them for half the year. You've got them. You've got them at TAFE. I'm like, or they're on annual leave, or they're sick.
I think it's all right as long as you're supervising them correctly,
It's about
that's right. If
supervision.
you're supervising him correctly and you're able to do that, I think that's fine.
Yeah, well, that's the discussion I had with them. 'Cause, like, guys, you're walking around telling everyone that they have to have 1-for-1. And businesses are struggling at it, as it is.
Yeah.
Well, and then you've got an apprentice walking around like, oh, well, I'm the only one you can have. And you're like, buddy, you're not listening. Like, and you need more, and you can't get more of them on. And with solar, obviously, it's mostly labour intensive. So if you've got one apprentice doing all that labour, they just get bored and over it, and you can't spend that time training them, and you can't get them doing anything else. So that was I was like, that's my justification, guys. I need to be able to move them through all their different components of electrical testing and allow my electrician the time to spend with each one of them. 1-for-1, you don't even get the job done, and you go, oh my God, I forgot again. And we couldn't swap because I couldn't supervise you, and I needed 4 extra days to spend with you to get you to do all those processes. So I was like, no, I'm going to back it. I'm going to back it 100%, guys. We're going to do 2 apprentices to 1 Sparky. I'm not having just trades guys walking around on site because they're not trained. They don't do their workplace health and safety components. You can't do it unless they're signed up for an apprenticeship. We're going to back it.
Yeah, good.
We'll argue it till the
So
end
it's
of the
working now? You reckon you're happy with that decision?
Yeah. I have 2 fourth years, 2 thirds, 2 seconds and 2 firsts.
That's good.
And it's perfect.
I think that's fine. Like, it's not like you've got 8 first years and you're just sort of sending them all out. It's nothing like that. Like,
no.
Yeah, that's good.
And my last 2 fourth and third years, I took in from a company who closed. Who went in Phoenix afterwards, which was horrible. And they were posting stuff on crap solar. And that was going haywire. And I was in a movie and I was like, guys, do not respond. Do not respond. Do not get involved. Stay away from it. You left. You're gone now. Don't care what they're doing now. If you start involving yourself, you start involving us.
Yeah.
And then it becomes a whole...
Yeah, you don't want... That's a whole thing.
Versus them thing. We're not doing it. Stay out of it.
Yeah, good.
I go, okay. So I was really proud to take them in.
Yeah.
It's like, come on, guys. I got you. Because it's 2 weeks out from Christmas. And one of my Sparkies was like, hey, my old workplace has gone under and... they're not going to have any work and it's 2 weeks out from Christmas. And do you think maybe we could take him in? And I was like, 2 strays. Like, I don't need anyone. He's like, we're doing that 100 kilowatt at the tavern. And I was, all right, let's do it. Bring him to meet me and I'll see. And they're both lovely. I love them to pieces. And I was like, all right, now we're stuck with you. Sit at the dinner table. Come on.
I think we're going to go to a break. It's hard to get a word in with you, Kirsty.
Sorry,
no, it's actually no. It's not actually. It's not a bad thing at all. Like it's great.
I'm loving it. I've learned so much. I'm like, I'm going to be a bit more of a hard ass, I reckon.
I get told I need to be a little harder, and I'm like, no, I'm hard enough. Everyone's scared of me. That's fine. And then I'm super nice, and everyone's shocked.
Love it.
All right, well, we'll go to our first break. I don't know where we're going to go with this next. What do you reckon, Lauren? What are we going to ask you? I'm just going to talk. I'm just going to ask a question, and I think Kirsty's got the rates here.
Absolutely.
All right.
I should have a podcast just for me.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool. All right. Okay, we'll go to our first break, and all right, we'll be back in just a few moments.
Hey solar installers, struggling to keep up with CPD requirements? At Southwell Solar Training, we're here to make it simple. Our online courses are designed to give you the knowledge you need without the sales pitch. With an affordable subscription, you'll unlock access to our growing library of technical courses, covering everything from inspecting older systems to spotting installation defects. Learn at your own pace, earn CPD points, and stay ahead in the industry. Join us today and start learning smarter, not harder. Visit www.southwellsolartraining.com.au and get your CPD the easy and affordable way.
And we are back from our break. A couple of little technical difficulties there, which we sorted out.
Beautiful. I'm still here, so that's the main thing, right?
Yeah. No, it was good to have Kirsty's assistant here. Sorry, what's your name again? Gina. Yeah, she's onto it.
That's why she came. She was really interested in how podcasts work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
She wanted to come for today.
Thanks, Gina. Thanks for the support.
Oh, very good. All right. Before you get too carried away, Kirsty.
Yes.
Oh, you mentioned it before about, you spoke about having ADHD.
Oh, yes, I did.
Yeah. How do you go with that? Like, it's been... We've spoken about this a little bit on our podcast about people with neurodiverse... and, how they... You're quite obviously a high-functioning person.
I am. But it's not... ADHD is not like that for me.
No, but you mentioned about your superpower, right?
Yeah, that's what I use it for.
So cool. What do you... Is it... your brain works that way. You just go on a million miles an hour. You can process a whole lot of stuff. Is that what it is? Like,
Well, luckily my hyper-focus has been my business.
yeah.
And I've been able to consistently make that my focus.
Yep.
But obviously go off on tangents and forget things. Luckily, I have Gina now.
Mm-hmm.
Because Gina sometimes goes, you were going to do that like 2 hours ago. And I'm like, I'm going to do it right now.
So she keeps you in check.
She does keep me in check quite
Yeah.
a bit. I'm like, boys also keep me in check because things like not drinking water seem
Yeah.
to be... Because I get into my hyper-focus and all of a sudden it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon, I've not eaten, I've not drank water, and I've been in
That's
my
what I do.
zone just doing things.
That's exactly what I do.
Yeah. And you're just like, oh, okay, except I'll be doing 5 things and I'll be doing them concurrently.
Yeah.
And sometimes I look at a problem and go, oh, well, that's simple. And everyone else is standing there going, it wasn't to us. Okay, cool. But you have your ups and downs, which has probably been my hardest part.
Yeah.
Because
How
I
do you-
have chosen not to medicate.
Yeah. So how do you? So with your downs, how do you regulate yourself? Like, what do you?
It's always going to be a work in progress.
Yep.
Because it's always something that you've got to go on your own personal journey for and figure out for yourself what you're doing.
Yep.
I've spoken to medical professionals and they go, look, it's up to you. And they leave it really with you. It's not a,
Yeah.
hey, a one size fits all for everyone,
Yep.
especially since everyone's diagnosis is a little bit different and how they
Yeah.
operate is different. Mine tends to be on a day-to-day, like because it's obviously run on dopamine.
Yeah.
Having a good day, one day, does not mean you start the next day happy.
No.
And sometimes
Yeah.
I battle through it, and I've had to recognise that on those days, don't push myself to go and deal with the situation that I should have dealt with yesterday, but I didn't, but now you're not in the right mindset to do. Which kind of hinders me sometimes, especially with HR and coordinating with staff, because you're like, oh, I have to have this conversation.
Yeah.
But I'm not in it today. And I know I'm not going to handle it well, and it's going to become a personal conversation. So do I just let that go and pick my battles and go, nah, I'm not going to have it? Or am I just going to send an email and schedule it for another day and go, this is not the best time for me or you? And most of those decisions for me in business have to come down to the fact, am I going to make the situation worse?
Yeah.
Because I'm not in the right mindset. And sometimes I just stay home on those days and go, no, I'm not going to be good for anyone today. I'm going to have to work from home. And luckily my staff get it. They know that I'm there to support them and that I love them.
I was going to say, like, do you talk about it in your business? Like, you seem to be pretty open about it, which I
100%.
love. It's really good. Like,
Because I apologise. I go, look, I'm sorry. My brain didn't work
yeah.
today, and it's where I'm at, and I'll try and meet you halfway. And can we do it tomorrow?
Yeah.
Because I'm just not doing it. Then there's the complete and utter acts of rage where you
Yeah.
just get grumpy. Years ago, it used to mean that I yelled at someone and hung up the phone
Yeah.
and called them back. I was like, okay, it's not you, it's a situation, I'm really sorry.
Yep.
I've gotten much better at dealing with them. One of my electricians, Julian, was there at the start of all of it and
Yep.
was just like, dude, you yell at me for nothing. I'm like, dude, I'm sorry. Stick it out with me. It's not you, and I apologise. And if you hate me and you never want to work for me again, I understand. And he was like, no, I get it. I can see that it's not me, and it's never personal.
Yep.
And then the other day, someone said, "Oh, well, you just get angry." And Jules went, "No, she has gotten so much better at managing her responses
Yeah.
and recognising herself and her personal development or where she's at."
Did that come years like? It's obviously you've been
It's- yeah, 4 years.
your brain has been like this your whole life, right? And it's just
Yeah.
normal for you.
But I
right?
wasn't cognitively aware
No,
of it.
no.
And someone didn't mention it to me until about 4 years ago.
4 years ago.
And I was like, oh yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Like I probably am. And then and I've always had a psychologist because
Yep.
I've always been treated as those bad days must be depression.
Yeah, right.
And to me, I was like, I've looked at depression. It doesn't feel like that. And it's not all the time. I'm not sitting there in this pit of despair all the time. I'm having all these random days where I just don't feel great. And then someone randomly, as it became a big social thing on social media, everyone talking about it, someone said to me, have you thought about it? I'm like, oh no, that's just a thing that everyone thinks they've got.
Yeah.
And then I had my psychologist say, no, you probably do. But she was like, look, we want to do the test as psychiatrists because I have a lot of childhood trauma and both of those things overlap.
Yep.
She's like, childhood trauma and ADHD both have the same outcomes, I guess. So we want to see which ones they actually are. And she's like, I'm listening to you and your childhood and everything you've been through. I kind of think that maybe you have both. I was like,
Yeah.
sweet. Just to make me even more interesting, I'm both.
It's so cool that you've embraced it. Like, take my hat off to you for that, because that's, you know, I suppose you probably think you've got no choice. Like, this is just the way
just
I
the
am,
world.
and I'm that's it.
Yeah.
No,
and
that's
people like tell me all the time, oh my God, you're amazing. And I'm like, I don't think so. I think I just wake up in the morning and do me.
Yeah.
And do me. That's what I do. Like, the only thing that I've been trying to work on is taking care of me while taking care of everybody else. Because that's one of the things that I've done. Because I'm the oldest of 7.
7?
Yes.
Whoa.
Seven siblings.
You probably get that a fair bit, don't you? Everyone goes, whoa!
Oh my God. I'm like, yeah, look, it is a lot.
Get the comments about your parents having a TV and all those sort of things.
Yes, I've heard all of those.
Yeah.
I've heard all of those jokes, and I'm like, yeah, okay. But I brought up my siblings, and I've only just gotten the last one to 21, and out of the house, and paying her own bills, and
So you're
doing her own things.
the oldest, are you?
Oldest, yeah. They're all between the ages of 34 and 24 now. So there's only a 10-year gap. And the last 3 girls don't even have 3 months between each other. 2 of them are the same age for a couple of weeks. That's how close together they were born.
I've got 2 boys that are like that.
Oh, really?
10.5 months apart.
Because they call it something. It's Irish twins.
Irish twins, that's it.
Yeah.
It's Irish
and
twins.
I'm like, we have Irish triplets. And they are all completely different.
Yeah.
But I've dealt with all of that. So I've always said to the boys, I'm like, dude, I can deal with you. 7 kids screaming, 7 pairs of socks, 7 lunches. 7
You are nothing.
loads of washing, dishwasher, newborn baby, screaming, yelling, arguments. Do it all, whatever.
Yeah.
And guys, when you work together every day and you 40 hours a week, you're going to have conflicts. And if every time you have a conflict with someone in the workplace, you just go, oh, well, I hate that person, I'm never going to talk to them again, you're going to leave.
Yeah.
And you're going to go to the next place and have your next conflict and have your next argument. And it's always going to happen. You're never always going to agree. And you have to remember that while you don't treat each other like family, you are with that person more than you're with your family.
Yeah.
So you're going to have to be able to talk and communicate and resolve problems.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, I yell and scream with my sisters all the time and hang up on them and tell them to go leave the planet, leave me the frick alone, and have our fights. And we call each other back, and one of my sisters goes, oh, have you got $20? Literally 15 minutes later, after I've hung up and said, see you later. So when I do that with the boys, they're like, what? Why are you fine with me now? I'm like, because I hated you 20 minutes ago, but we've worked it out. Next thing on the list, moving on.
I love that.
Well, that's cool. So you've learned how to communicate in a good way. That's good. And
I hope so.
yeah, well, I mean, I've never really worked with you. We have worked together, but not that much.
Long distance.
Yeah, didn't really do that much together. You mentioned actually you remember that first conversation.
Yes,
that was funny.
Chat. 24 years old, trying to tell a fully qualified electrician how it was going to be. That was my first memory, and you were like, where are you from? You didn't even know where I was from. And I'm like, oh, I'm in Queensland. This is the case. And you're like, okay, no. They do have to go do that. And I was like, all right, I'll go tell them after arguing their point.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. But no, my favourite thing about you is your goodbye email.
Which at Trivet Solar?
Yes.
Okay.
You individually noted your things for each person. I can't even remember what mine said. I was more interested in what you said about other people. She's like, I'm going to miss arguments with Joe, and I'm going to miss I'm not doing that with Ben Wake. And I was like, oh, God. But do you not remember it?
No, I do.
It was very long, and it was your goodbye to every single person almost in the whole company. And I thought it was really impressive that you sat there and had made a list of every single person and said a personal goodbye.
I do remember doing that now, and
One of your quirks.
No, I did, because I did a similar thing. I did a similar thing with an email at the CEC.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, I did. It was just something like I just wanted to be grateful that I'd had the experience. Like even though it wasn't the most positive experience, still some of the things I learnt there and the people I met were great. Yeah. And because it's not. I mean, you work there too. It's probably not the most positive thing to work there. Like it is quite difficult. Like, and it takes a sort of. I don't know if it's a resilient person or whatever to be able to work there. I'm not sure.
Constructive.
Because
not everyone was resilient. I know some of the ladies in sales weren't as resilient, and they used to struggle and call me and go, hey, like I'm having a really bad day. And it was really interesting to get a call within the same organisation, but across the whole country. Yeah. And going, hey, this horrible thing's happening down here. I know it has nothing to do with you, but I needed to talk to someone. And I'm like, okay, what's going on? Oh, all these things. You're like, oh, okay, and you talk through it and you work together, and you have to remember the organisation isn't all of the individual people sometimes.
Right. Exactly.
That the culture just isn't cohesive for those two parts.
Yeah.
So to talk to everyone and be like, look, it's going to be okay. That's an ignore kind of situation, or maybe you need to go talk to HR or whatever it was.
So you were the counsellor there for a few people,
for the sales team I was, a lot of, and some of the girls in, what do they used to call it down there? Verification. Yeah, the verification team would call me and be like, okay, you guys know I'm not in Melbourne, right? I have nothing to do with your really big office down there. I'm one person. Yeah. And they're like, yeah, Okay.
So sorry.
Cool, I'm happy to talk to you. And I think a lot of them, because they didn't see me in person, forgot that I was 22. I'm like, I'm a baby down here.
Yeah.
Just all by myself. And you guys have like 50 people around there. And they're like, yeah. I'm like, okay. Like, I'm happy to hear what you've got to say, but I can't really help you. Like, I don't have a HR up here. I see my boss every 3 weeks for maybe 2 days.
Yeah.
And she stays in a motel at the end of the street. Like,
Yeah, she would move between offices.
yeah, and she was never really home. And I think she
No.
lived in Adelaide. Because I also went and visited her home in Adelaide.
She spent most of her time in Melbourne when I was there. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
And they said they wanted to cancel all of her flights at one stage. And she's like, how am I supposed to remotely manage 4 offices without actually going there?
Yeah.
Like, what do you want me to do? And she was really unimpressed with that. More so with the fact that they had left me with everything. And she's like, so I'm just supposed to talk to Kirsty on the phone and try and talk her through her whole job with 6 months worth of training on the phone, which we did really well in the start. But then I got to a point where I was like, I don't know what to do with some of these situations and I can't get a hold of you. So do I just sit here and wait? And then she'd call me last minute, 5, 6 o'clock at night and go, hey, you need to do all this stuff. I'm like, you're going home.
Yeah.
No, you're not. And I used to get there at 6 a.m. and leave at 7, 8
I can just see her voice say, I can just imagine her saying that when it's like, no, you're not going home. She did that to me too.
Oh, my
and I'd
favourite
be
thing
like, I am going.
She used to do it to install
Yeah.
it. But I'm not interested. It was her favourite line. I'm not interested. I'd be like, but you have to pay me for that, Michelle. No. You should have done it in the first place. Why do I have to pay you? It's a 2-minute job. And she would argue it. I learned a lot from her, from that stuff. 'Cause I'm like, installers do like to push back on you and say, no, I'm not doing a thing that they were initially responsible for. And I have learnt the differences now. So to think back to her talking to installers and just going, no, and arguing with them and going, no, you're going to do it. You're doing it for nothing. And I get that she was running it from a business standpoint, which is crazy to think that Michelle was like the TP of making sure the job still happened. And that the installers still did them and they got done properly. And had all those agreements with all of those installers, all subcontractors, to do all of that work on a day-to-day basis.
There's a lot.
Yeah. And then she put it on me and I had to remember which installers only did single story and which installers only went in these areas and which guys did warranty and which guys didn't and how they all operated and bridge select and just full up, just trying to make sure that all because in the end I think I had 17 install teams a day that I was booking for, plus 2 warranty techs, which were 5 jobs each. So that's why I had to do all those hours. I was like, I'm not going to do it in 8 hours. That's full on.
So you reckon you got some good lessons there from learning?
I did. Even though it was really, really difficult at the time, and it had to think it was only 6 months.
Were you only there 6 months?
Yes, it was 6 months.
Really?
Yeah.
God.
And within 3 months, it was just me by myself.
Yeah,
And
okay.
I'm sitting there with no experience going, all right, I'm going to come in and I'll do it, I guess. And I knew nothing. No one taught me about solar panels. No one taught me about warranties. I knew nothing about install. Like being in telco, I knew nothing. So I was like, all right, I'm going to have to learn this as quick as I can. And luckily, Michelle was really good. She was really good at me calling her and saying, hey, I'm looking at this board. What do I need to make sure the install teams know what they're doing?
Yeah.
And she'd talk me through it. So that was literally in the deep end, work it out. And then having to work it out on my own and remember it as quickly as I did. Luckily, I do remember most things I look at, which is my superpower.
Yeah.
Go back to ADHD. I can read something and pretty much remember it for the rest of my life. If I write it down and it's a number, I will never forget it, which drives my boys insane.
Yeah.
It's like, no, we spoke about it on Wednesday the 22nd at 4:30 and we're standing right here. Oh, okay. Yeah.
How'd you go at school? What did you do at school?
Well, that's the thing, because I moved out at 13.
Yeah. Did you finish high school?
No.
No.
So I went to year 10
Yeah.
and then moved in with my grandmother who lived in what I would call crime capital of Queensland in Logan.
Yep.
And I was still going to school and I was trying to go to school and go to work. So I was working full-time at McDonald's from 14 and going to year 11. Yeah, and I was doing all my night shifts and eventually had to give up on one and move back to the Gold Coast and tried to go back to school. And my teachers were like, no, you're... Like, to cut a really bad story short, my mother had entered the school premises multiple times while I was at school and walked into classes and threatened other students and myself. And they were very concerned that would happen again after I left for a year and came back. So I decided to go off and try courses at TAFE and other schools. So I did do hospitality and tourism management in my whole try to figure things out phase. And then I went and did accounting, Cert 2, and was like, will this help me? Not really. And after 3.5 years at McDonald's, they offered me management, and I quit that day. And my boss, Glinda, was devastated. And she's like, what do you mean you're quitting? I'm like, if I take a management role here, I won't leave. And I don't want this to be my future. I know that I'm capable of more. So I just have to go. And I went, and I ended up at Telstra at 17, selling win-back phone lines over the phone. And then was moved through the ranks there really, really quickly. And for some reason at 22, 23 decided I wanted something else and ended up at TVS and was like, all right, cool, this is interesting and a whole new phase of my life.
Yeah.
And wouldn't trade that 6 months of experience for anything, because although it was horrible and it was hard and it took half my soul, it still gave me what I needed to start.
You got your soul back now? Is it come back?
Oh, I'm growing it back.
You're growing it back?
It never comes back the right way, you know that. You lose part of it all around. No, I've managed to get there.
Yeah.
And I love teaching. Like, I talk to business people in solar all the time. Like, dude, it's hard.
Yeah.
Like, don't ever think it's not. Don't ever walk in thinking that you're going to ace it and it's going to be easy. I've even talked to contractors out of doing it. I've been like, guys, stop. You get more employed. You end up with the same outcome of income and you feel a lot more fulfilled. You're not stressing about paperwork and apprentices. There was so much paperwork for it. I even had one of my electricians walk in a year ago, and he was supposed to go out on his own after 6 months of it. He's like, I'm not doing it anymore. I was like, fine. I can't do what you do. That looks horrible. I was like, it does not. And he's like, no, it doesn't look horrible. It's just, I know you handle it really well, and I'm not that. I was like, yeah, fair enough.
I feel like you, like in a previous life, were a lawyer or something.
Oh, my friend's mum literally 3 days ago told me that she saw me as a lawyer.
Do you get that vibe, Lauren? Like,
Yeah, I'm actually a bit scared. No. But just remind me never to go to war with you.
I actually, this was the only story I wanted to tell you. I did have an electrical safety issue, again, 2 years ago. Electrical manager did it. Had the electrical safety office come in, area manager and inspector. And he sat down and he was like, look, I'm going to give you a fine for not supplying your COC to the homeowner. And I was like, no, I was the subcontractor. I was only required to supply the COC to whoever was paying me for the job.
Yep.
Anyway, nope, that's not the case. You're getting a fine. 15 minutes later, area manager said, I have to interrupt. You actually can't give her that fine. She was right. I was like, I told you. And I even said to her, I'm going to fight that because that's not right. That's not correct. And he went, no, it is. All right. And then afterwards, he goes, off the books, not recording this. No one has ever come back to me and filled a ticket in one, especially within 15 minutes. And he's like, how did you remember that from legislation? I read it last night in preparation for this meeting. It's funny because I was asking you and your electrical team, your QTP and your electrician, electrical questions, and they were looking at you. I'm like, I'm not even qualified. And he's like, that's exactly right. They kept looking at you for the answers. And he's like, I'm looking at them like, I'm asking you, not her. You tell me what the answer is or what you were supposed to be doing properly. And he just sort of was like, cool, so if you ever need a job, I'm not going to complain.
Well, I feel maybe you should go get a law degree. You'll probably do it in like 4 days or something.
Oh, probably something silly like that. I'm like,
Lit.
we've been watching The Rookie. Gina was like, have you watched The Rookie yet? And I was like, yeah, I have. And she's like, you're Lopez.
Yeah.
Am I? And she's like, 100%. Partner said the same thing. And I was like, oh, God. Guys, I'm not going to become police detective. It's not happening. It's like, but you figured things out that no one else could. I'm like, yeah, I know. And be scary.
Well, I'm speechless. What about you, Lauren?
Yeah, I've learned a lot. I'm very impressed. I like how you roll.
You like how I roll.
Yeah.
Oh, God. I don't even know what I'm going to ask you. Like,
Gina wants cameras in her office to film us every day. She's like, seriously, the things that go on, the things the boys come into you with, so I'm like their mum. And my partner gets annoyed because he works for me and he's like, stop calling her that. She's not your mother. They can ask their questions and they'll come in and I literally, one of the boys made a complaint about me talking about his relationship with him. And then one of the other younger boys come in to talk to me and I was like, Lachlan, do you know that you're about to talk to me about your personal relationships and not work-related things? Yeah, I started it. I'm like, okay, what do I want to see? I met this girl in Canada. I love you. Please don't do that.
oh, dear.
All right. Like, that's how my boys are. Every day, students like, I think we need cameras in here. People need to know what goes on.
Are they like how do you go like managing them? Like what's your sort of management style as far as like do you try and be sort of hands on with their development, or you just sort of let them go, or you or you read a manual and then teach it to them 2 minutes later, or like, what's your sort of management style with that sort of thing? Like,
bit of both. Obviously, being not an electrician, it's really hard for me to train them on actual electrical.
No, yeah. Look, you've been around for a while. You understand a lot about it. So, yeah, I get what you're saying. There's a perception there.
Which I explained to one of them the other day because they were talking about wanting more experience in general electrical. Yeah. And I was like, guys, you do it every day. You do DC connections and AC connections, switchboards, meter boards. Yep. That's it.
I know.
I'm like, most of your apprenticeship, which you don't understand, is not running cables. No. It's compliance, labouring, legislation. That is most of what an electrician needs to know. Yeah, and most of your capstone. Yeah. And you act like it's not. Yeah. Which means you're not at the point yet in your development to turn around to me and go, hey, I need more training in other things. Yeah. Because that is most of your job, is going to be labelling and isolation and testing and making sure that you know who you're responsible for and when. Yep. And they're like, oh, okay, right. I'm like, PCBU, I have a duty of care. QTP, he has a duty of care. Electrician overseeing apprentices, he has a duty of care. Yep. I'm like, and you don't have to have that responsibility yet because you're a third year, but you will. And that's going to actually be the most important part. And I try to make it so that with an apprenticeship, everyone always focuses on the electrical side of things. They never look at personal development. And I'm like, I don't
really. It's a really good point. That's a really good point.
They don't look at it. They just go, well, I'm teaching you how to wire things. Yep. You do realise that they're like 15 to 25 years old. Yeah. Granted, I got a few bit older than that, but there's still the personal development side, and no one touches on it. I'm like, so I don't want any of my boys to get to the end of their apprenticeship and go, all I learned was how to install a solar system. Yeah. All I learned from Kirsty was how to run cables. All I learned was what my electrician taught me. Like, you should get to the end of an apprenticeship and know with full confidence that you had that person for 4 years, and you know that wherever they go, they know how to do their documentation, they know that what they're responsible for, they know how to do their taxes. Yeah. They know how to keep their van organised and how it all the van works, not just, it's broken down, call Kirsty, which they used to do. What would you like me to do? You're on the side of the road. Do you want me to drive there and change the tyre for you?
Yeah. Do you want me to call a tow truck?
Yeah. Like, the tow truck number's in the car. Oh, okay, what do I do? You call them. You call them and you give them the rego. So all those types of things that no one really touches on. Because I'm like, guys, I'm not just preparing you for your work life. It's your whole life. It's going to be your whole future. Yeah. And I want to know that if you leave here, you can go, oh, well, I learned that at Sunshine State. And Kirsty taught me that. And she's taught me how to have a mediation with one of my colleagues. And she taught me how to sit down with my boss and ask for a pay rise. And she taught me how to be a better person and to train other people, not just at the end of my apprenticeship when I'm qualified. But I'm a third year. I know the answer to that. Let me teach my first year how to do it. I'm like, guys, we're all responsible for it as a whole. So talk to each other and communicate with each other, and it's not a hierarchy. I'm like, I don't come to work one day and go, you know what? That's beneath me. I don't want to do that today. Yeah. I'm like, I come to work and go, that job needs to be done, and Gina's busy. I'm going to do it. Or sales team struggling that looks like they have a problem, I'm going to go up, I'll make some calls and I'll help them out.
That's good.
I've gone to site and prep panels.
Yeah, but that's good. But if you do that, you're demonstrating as a leader, you're demonstrating to your workers that this is how we run a successful organisation.
Yeah.
Like, you need to be able to do these things. You can't just be sitting in your office and yelling at people or whatever.
Yeah, it doesn't work like that.
No, it's not.
And yelling doesn't work. Yelling 100% does not work. No. You can yell at a boy till you're blue in the face, they check out. Yeah. Men, you all check out. You go, she's yelling, and I'm in trouble. And that's all you hear at that point.
It's true.
Yeah, and I've done lots of psychology training in my sales start days. Yeah. Did like 200 hours, something ridiculous. So I think that prepped me for it, because now I look at my guys and go, if I yell at you, you're not going to listen. If I try to make this too difficult for you, you're not going to remember it, and come from all those different avenues. And I talk to every single staff member different, because they're all different personality types, they're all different people, and they all learn a different way. And that's what I say to electricians too. I'm like, you have to work out how your apprentice learns. You can't just go in with the same tactic with all of them.
Absolutely. Everyone's different, and everyone's going to respond differently to different teaching styles, and they're going to receive it in different ways. Yeah, I totally agree.
So I have to do that, and I have to do that in the start. At your interview, will I be able to teach you? Do we have the same communication style? Are you able to absorb the information I'm giving you? Are you going to fit in with the boys that you're about to spend 40 hours a week with? are you going to work, or are they going to absolutely destroy you? Because I've set up my teams. They are all that same personality type, and they care about getting to work and getting the job done and doing it compliant, not making me mad, making sure Gina understands what's going on. So if someone comes into the corporation that's late all the time, who's not doing the job properly, who's really slow, who doesn't seem to care, they come to me straight away. We don't like this person, it doesn't work, they're horrible, they're not talking to me, they're not communicating, they're not doing the job like this, and they're doing dodgy stuff, and we just don't like it. And I tend to not fire. I haven't fired many people in my last 8 years. And I try to walk through it first and mediate first.
Yep.
But I say to them at the interview, if you're telling me 90s right now and it comes to a point where you actually don't know what you're doing, the boys will tell me. It will come to a head very quickly because they know what they're doing. Some of my apprentices have been in solar 6 years.
Yep.
So they know more than you. Like, they've been doing this longer than you have, and they're going to come straight away and say, no, that's not the guy. Right, and I'm really sorry.
That's good. So you trust your installers to like give you that feedback.
I do.
Like, yeah, it's good
because they know that it's for them.
Yeah.
I'm not on site, especially when I talk to them about a problem, and they get a lot defensive. And I had one the other day, and I was like, "You're getting defensive with me like it's me. I'm not on site with you." That means that this information has come from people you work with, who didn't feel comfortable enough to come and talk to you, and it's because of your response. Look at you.
Yeah.
You're arguing with me. Stop arguing with me. I am telling you to help you.
Yeah.
I'm like, what are the?
This will benefit you.
Yeah, I'm trying to help you make sure. And I've warned you about this behaviour. You can't do that in front of them, especially if you're getting really upset in front of apprentices about performing an activity. Then you're going to come to me and whinge that your apprentices don't want to do it. Well, they don't want to do it because they just saw that you didn't want to do it. So why do they have to do it? That's going to be, I'm like, you can't go hierarchy on them and go do it. It's not how the world works anymore. I'm sorry, but you can't just force someone to do the work you don't want to do and then be confused when they won't listen to you.
Yeah.
I'm like, or worst thing that could happen, whinge about me on site, guys, because you didn't like the conversation we had. Because I went, cool, you have to do it. And you didn't like the outcome. You do that, and then all of a sudden you've got your apprentices going, cool, I'm gonna whinge about the boss too. I've spoken to the guys about it. I'm like, I know when one of you's got the grumps with me because you all go, I'm not happy with her. And then 2 days later you realise that you weren't really mad at me, and you're like, I don't know why, Kirsty, what are you doing? Like, it's all changed, and they're like, yeah, that's true, that does happen. I'm like, yeah. And usually it's me going, no, I'm drawing a line, you can't do it. You're affecting everyone else around you, and you have to do it. And you get grumpy with me in the first instance. It's always the electricians, mate. You get grumpy with me to begin with, and then you realise that what I was asking you for only helped you. Made it so you didn't have to drive back there 45 minutes out of the way the next day before the next job to finish something that you could have finished the day before. And at the time you were like, I want to go home. And I was really doing you a favour.
That's You've nailed a lot of interactions there. Yeah, sounds like you're doing it with these people.
Yes, I'm trying.
Yeah, it's good.
Right, it's not an easy job. It's just like having kids.
Yeah.
It's never easy. You don't know how they're going to turn out. You do your best.
You do your best.
Yeah.
All right, well, we're going to go to our last ad break. I got a word in. How good. All right, we'll go to our last ad break, and we'll wrap this one up when we come back. It's last ad break, and we'll wrap it up. All right,
awesome.
We're back in a minute.
Like, sorry guys.
Hey solar installers, struggling to keep up with CPD requirements? At Southwell Solar Training, we're here to make it simple. Our online courses are designed to give you the knowledge you need without the sales pitch. With an affordable subscription, you'll unlock access to our growing library of technical courses, covering everything from inspecting older systems to spotting installation defects. Learn at your own pace, earn CPD points, and stay ahead in the industry. Join us today and start learning smarter, not harder. Visit www.southwellsolartraining.com.au and get your CPD the easy and affordable way.
We are back. I'm actually a little bit sad this is our last segment. I've had so much fun.
It's been good, hasn't it? It's been great.
It's been really good. I feel like I'm there and I'm so far away.
Yeah, I know. Oh, wish you were here.
Kirsty, you have been ripper. I have really enjoyed the chat. I don't know what you look like. I've just got this picture of what you look like, and I feel like I know you. I've really enjoyed this.
Like, you'll have to come visit.
Yeah, done.
I'm like, I've got a spare room. I got some solar guards for you to get some data off of.
Chat. A bit of eye
Take you to the
candy.
local.
Now, Lauren, you are engaged.
Yes, sorry.
Look, she can still look.
I'm allowed to look.
You are
exactly
definitely allowed to
right.
look. You're definitely allowed to look. That's...
Sorry, Dad.
Oh God, Pat, are you offended?
Oh, nah, I've been called worse than that. No, that's all good. Yeah, it's been a great episode so far.
It's been really good.
Yeah, it's been
Loved
really,
it.
really good. All right, maybe I should ask Kirsty a question and then I'll just sit here and see what she's going to
Daydream
say.
and watch me talk.
Yeah. All right, I've got a question for you. What do you reckon, like I asked a lot of guests this one, what do you reckon where we're going with solar in the next, say, 2-5 years, something like that? Like, you got any thoughts on that?
Look, it's hard to predict
Yeah.
as the solar coaster is, what's going to happen and how everyone's going to be between technology, pricing,
Yeah.
the actual consumer themselves, really.
Yeah.
Like, wish I could make everyone panic buy solar
Yeah.
systems
Yeah.
and sort themselves out. But batteries have definitely started to...
You doing many batteries? You sell
Yeah,
a lot? You do a lot?
Hey, that was
We
my
really-
next question.
Oh, sorry, Lauren.
Jump
took our
out of it.
question away. Well, we only really started focusing on them kind
Yep.
of October, November last year because
Yeah,
I've
right.
always said no to because we mostly do residential, and I look at the payback period and go, no, I would love you to have one,
Yeah.
but your return on investment is 27 years. So no, we're not going to do that. We'd love to sell you a battery and get the profit from it, but you're not. I'm stealing your money because they
Yeah.
only have a shelf life of 10 years. And we do that. We honestly talk to clients about it and go, look, if your bill's not high enough, I don't want you to buy a battery. I don't want you to waste your money on it.
Yep.
But
Yeah.
people are starting to use so much more power. I don't even think they notice it half the time. We get calls all the time saying, hey, my bill's higher. And you go look and you're like, yeah, did you get a swimming pool installed?
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, yeah. That's probably
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
You have
there's your problem.
You have a filter now. And like, oh. I'm like, okay, was there no realization that this is what was going to happen? And we talk people through it, but they just don't realize that the power consumption has gotten so much higher because we now rely on it for so much more than we used to.
Yeah.
And then the other big thing is prices of electricity. It's ridiculous.
Oh,
about
it's
to go
crazy,
up
isn't it? It just keeps going up and up.
1 to 6% is
Yeah.
a prediction for every state.
Yep.
Just this next 12
Is,
months.
Is solar as big as it is up there in Queensland as it is down here?
Oh, it's probably bigger.
It's
Lauren.
bigger.
Is it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the penetration
Okay.
in Queensland's higher. And
wow.
the only reason we've got good penetration in Victoria is because we've got Solar Vic.
Yeah,
we
because
don't have that.
No, well, because the STCs are worth more up here. More sun, yeah.
Yeah, because I think it's roughly $4,670 for a 13.2 is the rebate now.
Yep.
Depending on obviously who your aggregator is and your price, but
Yep.
it means that most customers will look for a 13.2 kilowatt system for anywhere between $5,500 and $8,000
Yep.
in your mid-range, which is where we sit. Unfortunately, I don't agree with the companies who run around making $10,000 profit.
Yep.
Because there are companies that are charging $15,000 for what we charge for, and I just think it's a
Insane.
robbery. It's a robbery.
That is insane.
Like 3 guys there for 5 hours, and you want $2,000 an hour. That just seems horrible to me. Like, would love to be one of those entrepreneurs who goes, "I'm going to get real rich, and
Yeah.
send everyone out and get lots of money." And I know a lot of installers would disagree with me and say, "No, we should get paid for our expertise," and I get it, but I think we do. I don't think it's worth $2,000 an hour, $3,000 an hour. It just doesn't make sense to me. And I wouldn't do it
That
to my
is
own
crazy.
family. Like, I wouldn't make my own family pay me that much for that amount of work. So why do it to everybody else? Families struggle enough now. Like, between inflation and food costs and school fees and all those things, everyone just struggles day to day without going, cool, I'm going to spend my entire savings
Yeah.
on a solar system.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. That makes sense. You got any other questions, Lauren? What do you reckon?
No, I'm just really impressed. You give me like really good girl boss vibes. Like I really like how you're running your ship up there, and I think you're doing really well. You should be really proud of yourself, and you sound like you've worked really hard to get where you are. So, well done.
It's really great when I have an identity crisis. I'm like, guys, what would you see me doing? Business owner. I even asked my hairdresser the other day. I'm like, do you see me doing anything else? And he's like, I'm like, what do you think I do for a living? And he's like, you're like a CEO or something, aren't you? Haven't even told you that yet. And he's like, no, you seem like that person. I'm like, oh God. Like, I now embody it. I'm like, what have we done?
Am I reading this right? I got a feeling one day you're just going to go, don't want to do solar anymore. I'm interested in something else. Are you going to do that? Like,
I have been
are you that sort of person who would do that?
Not to leave,
No.
but I have spoken to my electrical manager about it because he's run a business already.
Yeah.
And said, nah, it's not something I want to do.
Yeah.
Because not that he failed it, it was too much for him and went, nah, it's not my thing.
Yep.
But he's moving into the office soon. And
Yeah,
he's
okay.
like, what are you going to do? I'm like, I don't know. Like, because you won't need me as much. You'll only need me in the state of crisis, or if something needs to really have a decision made that's going to be more costly than you have approval to deal with. I'm like, or a HR meeting, because apparently I'm real good at those. Like, so I don't know. Like, I'm definitely not going to jump ship.
No.
And I don't see my business going, cool, we're going to take over the whole country, because it's just not something that I've ever gone, cool, that's the way solar, I think, needs to be localised, and it needs to be the people who live there doing the work, not big companies going, cool, I'm going to subcontract to everybody and just flush the entire industry with all of these different prices and just contract them out and try and manage it that way. It just doesn't end up working for the end user, having that process. So I don't think it's something I want to do because I don't believe in it. So we don't have any expansion plans really. I do want to go more into like general electrical and heat pumps and EV, because that's obviously an offset.
Well, it's a natural step for a lot of companies.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's not one that I can not resonate with. It's not one that I can go, oh my God, that's a whole new business. I'm like, and it's something my apprentices need now that they're hitting their seconds and third years, that they need that extra training. So that's the thing that I want to step into. But still, to me, that's not a massive step. It's get the leads, have the sales rep, already have the staff, on-site staff for it, and the time to do it. So I think we'll set that up probably in the next 12 months, and then the company will just run organically as it is, where they all just support each other and get through their apprenticeships and then go on for their qualifications. And some of them won't stay. It's not something that they want to do long term. They may not want to do solar or general. Some of them want to move back home, because some of them aren't even from Queensland, Gold Coast area.
Yeah, right.
So they're all going to go on their own paths, and that'll be how we change as a unit. But I don't know, Pat. I definitely won't get up and leave. But Gina and my partner have joked that I can't just sit at home. It won't happen.
I can't see you doing that.
Weeks.
I certainly can't see you doing that.
No. They're like, what are you going to do? I'm like, I don't know. I did start nursing at one stage.
Yeah.
Because my whole dream when I was 16 was I was going to be a midwife. And I've been to births of my nieces and nephews now.
Yeah.
The ladies have been like, are you a midwife? I'm like, no, I'm not. I've just been at 6 births plus this one. And my little sister, the last one, she's like, I don't want to do this. I'm like, it's a little late. We're at the end stage now. You have to do this. You can't get out. I'm like, it's going to be ages, and I was going through all of her contractions and what she needed to do, and told her just to breathe, and do you want the epidural? Because you probably need to do it now. and the lady's like, are you a midwife? I'm like, no, I was just very interested in it. And I did start it at one stage and leave the business because I was coming in and just spinning around on a chair. I was like, guys, I have nothing to do here. So I'm going to go start this. And then, had a business partner, tanked it. Got a call from my accountant at the end of a quarter and said, hey, I don't know what's going on, but something bad's happened and I know that you're not there, and looking at your accounts, I don't know what he's done, but you need to go work it out because it's not great. And it was $680K of debt.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah. And I traded out of it I think it took me 8 months. And I was like, cool. If my accountant says to me, most business owners would have left. It's like the situations I have seen you handle in the last 8 years, most people would have just gone, nut too hard, see you later. So somehow you just stay. I know, I just get up every morning and go, all right, what problem am I tackling today? And that's the only way you can do it.
Sounds like you could be like a freelance consultant for solar businesses, I reckon.
No, I said at the start of this, I didn't want that. Like, people will call me with their problems.
I know.
And I just help. I won't even charge people. I'll be like, oh, I know the answer to that. Here you go. Like, oh my God, I'm running away.
Oh, God.
I try to help.
No, you're not leaving.
I've had people offer me jobs. I've had manufacturers go, cool, do you want to sell our product? And me go, no, it's the last thing I want to do. I've been asked to go into consulting. My old boss from Telstra just worked for me for 2 years before his retirement. And he was like, he's a business consultant. He's like, I really could see you doing business consulting. He's like, or even life coaching and helping people go, cool, here's a problem, work on it. Yeah. Because I think it frustrates me. I've got friends who don't do things about their problems. And they call me crying. And I'm like, okay, I'll be there. I'll be there and I'll sort it out. And I walk in and fix it. And I'm like, it wasn't that hard. You needed your car fixed, you needed money, you had this thing. I sold it, it's done, fixed. Here's the money, get the mechanic. Like, move on with your life. Let's get some independence and
just make it sound so simple.
It feels simple to me.
No, this is a good thing. Like, this is what I like about your style, because you just kind of let the bullshit, seems like you just let the bullshit just pass through you. Like, you don't hold on to things, which is also like a huge trait when you're running a business, because if you hold on to stuff, it's only going to weigh you down, and there's bigger and better things in the world.
100%. I've literally had the conversation with my little sister a year ago because she was sad. She was pregnant and she was sad because she wanted my mum's interest in it. She wanted my mum to care. And I was like, oh my God, baby girl, did you just fall pregnant for mum to pay attention to you? And she was like, yes. I was like, no, you need to let it go. Like, yes, we had a horrible childhood. Yes, it wasn't great, but you can't fix it. Mum can't go, like, she can apologise, but she can't fix it. It happened. It's happened now. Like, and if you keep dwelling on it, you're going to live in that past forever. And I think that has helped me with my no bullshit approach to things, because I think of before I left home and after I left home as completely different things. I think of Telstra as a completely different part of my life. TVS is a completely different part of my life. And you can't sit there and hold on to that trauma. Otherwise, it's all your life is about. It's about that one bad thing that happened to you.
That's really, you've summed up, like, most people's problems there.
Yeah, in one conversation.
You can't make it about all that.
Yeah. And they talk about it like it's compartmentalisation. Apparently men can do it really well. Mate, it's called man brain. Compartmentalising all of the things and having your nothing box.
Love that.
I have my nothing box. I love it. I don't get to go there often. People are like, what are you thinking about? Actually, nothing in this moment. That's how I find my peace. Sit outside.
It's your own way of meditating, in a way.
Yeah, and go to my nothing box.
That's really cool.
That's how you stay sane.
Yep. All right, I think we're going to have to wrap it up.
Yeah.
We could keep going. We could keep going. Yeah.
Call me anytime.
All right, no worries. Well, we will wrap it up. Do I dare ask you for any last thoughts? Have you got anything?
I don't think I have anything.
No?
Like, I tried to get you to the most decisive parts of my brain and my business operations as quickly as I could without taking up too much time.
No, it's like we covered a lot.
Even though you asked me to come on and I responded with, ew, why? What do you want to hear from me for? Like, I'm not that special.
Yeah.
No. I think we should. Like, all right, I'll do it then.
Well, I knew you'd have a cool story, and I didn't know half of it.
I don't share a lot.
No.
I really don't.
Well, thank you for sharing then.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming
Not
on and
a social
sharing.
media person either, as you may have noticed. I randomly get on with my little, like, rant every now and then.
Yeah.
But
I see
other
a couple
than
things. I see a couple things every now and then.
Yeah, and I'm like, nah. Not happy with this.
Yeah.
Sort it out, everybody.
Yeah.
Especially the traffic situation on the Gold Coast seems to be my main pet peeve.
Yep.
But no, I don't share personal stuff. Never really, if you ask me, I'll tell you, but I don't go out of my way.
Well, I'm glad I asked.
Yeah. Thank you for asking.
Oh, that's all right. All right, anything else?
More than you bargained for.
Yeah. Anything else, Lauren, before we wrap up?
Nah, I'm all good on this end.
All right, all good. Well, our next episode will be one of the DNSPs, won't it?
Yes,
right? It
very exciting.
Yep.
Coming in hot will be United and Power Core.
How good.
So,
can't wait.
yeah,
Can't wait.
very exciting.
Yep. And then we will also be together on the road at the Smart Energy Conference.
Yes, that too, which is even more exciting. This has got me so pumped for that.
Yeah, we've got a busy period coming up.
Remote podcast for the win.
Yeah, for sure. We've got, but it actually won't be remote. Like today, you're remote, but we're actually going to be together. We're going to be doing them face to face in Sydney.
Yeah,
so.
I know, but like we're not going to be in our own little studio.
Yeah,
I love
know.
that place.
I know.
But that's okay.
All right, all good. All right, Kirsty, thank you so much for coming on. Really appreciate it. It's been one of the most interesting episodes by a long way, and I think we've covered the most out of anyone. I know other podcasts sometimes do like word counts. I think this one's probably gonna take the cake. No, it's great. Don't apologise. Don't.
You asked a salesperson to come and talk to you. I just we talk.
Honestly, I feel like you're just being yourself, and it's great. And don't ever apologise. Don't ever apologise for being yourself. It's great.
Hell no.
I'll try to remember that.
Yeah. All right, good stuff. We'll wrap this episode up, and we'll see everyone next time. Thank you very much.
Sounds good. Bye, everyone.
Okay, bye.